This is happiness, to be everything at once. Be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled and unburned.
Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new episode of Mood Prep. My name is Dave Nixon, and today it should be a start of a brand new week, episode 101 of Mood Prep. And we're going to go through the 4 letters that can kind of crush us in some way. No, I will not go out with you is too many letters, so it's not that one. If you watched Billy Madison growing up, is that just me, only person? Anyway, the 4 words. Did I say letters? I meant words. 4 words are what will they say. Now let's unpack this a little bit. What will they say? Now I am 100%, I don't know if guilty is the right word, but definitely I have played this chorus of this phrase in my head time and time again, and it has 100% definitely allowed me to create some sort of fantasy future of being judged that stopped me from doing the things that I wanted to do. You know, even for example, I always use this podcast as an example. It's like to think that I didn't have that question pop up, whoever the fuck they are, by the way, but if I didn't have that question pop up, would just be a lie. Of course I had that question pop up. It's just a matter of that I've had that question pop up so much that I'm like, fuck it. Like, there's a couple of ways to go down this. I'm going to go down the first route, or route, depending which country you live in, and then second route. And the first route is, fuck it, like, people are going to judge you anyway, right? No matter what. People are going to judge you, so you may as well just do what you want to do, because if you don't do something, they'll judge you for not following through with your goals. But if you do it, then, you know, maybe you're trying to big note yourself and everything else. So people are always going to judge you, so you can't let that hold you back. But that's really not the issue here, right? Because more often than not, judgment is subjective, and people often judge because they themselves wish they could do something similar. It may not be the same job or the same goal. What it is that they're stopping themselves from doing what they want to do, and it's significantly easier to try and bring you down. Then don't think that you haven't done this, by the way. Like, I mean, fucking Mother Teresa, I didn't know her personally, but like, she probably did it in some way or another at some stage in her life. It's not to say that we are it and we continuously do it, but it's just really, truly understanding that there are times when we have stopped ourselves from doing something that we really want to do, and then judge somebody else for doing the exact thing that we wanted to do. And it's really crucial that we're honest with ourselves and we understand that, because when we do that, we actually fucking stop judging. Because this leads into the second point, is that this isn't giving you an idea of other people's judgment. What will they say? It's actually you judging you in the eyes of others, right? Let me say that again. What will they say, and the thoughts that arise, that is you judging you, not them judging you, right? Maybe they might say something, but that doesn't mean that you should stop doing what it is you want to do. But what is stalling you is the fact that you are judging you. So the question isn't, what will they say? The question is, when will you stop judging yourself? Now, this is very interesting, because the amount of times that, and I was in the same boat, I suppose. I was like, I don't judge people. And then I really paid attention to my thoughts, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, I really do judge people. And I think there's a certain level that's okay. Like, it's just, you know, it's a matter of, is this a conscious understanding and my assessment of what's going on in the world at the moment? Or is this me projecting insecurities onto someone and calling it judgment? And so when I realized that I was doing that, I actually like, right, now where am I doing this with myself? And then I fucking unpacked all this stuff to realize that I'm like, holy shit, I'm continually judging myself in the eyes of someone else about a thing that I want to do that I haven't done in the future. And then I'm creating some sort of, like, often an argument with the other person to try and get them to see my point of view, when none of this has actually even happened. None of it's real, right? It's hilarious. You speak to, let's say, for example, an atheist, and they're like, I don't believe in, you know, God, or, you know, I don't believe in these men in the clouds and this fantasy. But then they're going and having conversations in the future with that have never happened. It's like, you're fucking living a fantasy, mate. Can't you see that? It's like, you're atheistic, but you're so fucking not, because you're creating something in the future. Like, I understand this isn't a religion, but what I'm getting at is that there's still the premise of the fantasy. Whether that fantasy being beaten down and still, like, that's feeding into your fucking victim role, or if that fantasy is somehow talking someone around, or coming up with a good argument, or whatever it may be. Like, it unpacks into so many different variations for each individual. But where it all comes down to is just recognizing when you're actually asking the question, what will they say? And just observe where your brain goes and realize what you're doing. Because you're just protecting yourself. More often than not, that's what happens. People will do that. What will they say? And then fucking off the brain goes and comes up with all these horrible things that people will judge you by. And of course, then you'll be ostracized from the group, maybe even the city, because you're a fool. And then no one will like you. And then people will hear about it in other states because, social media. And the next thing you know, that no one likes you, and then you'll die alone and off you go. It's like, none of this has fucking happened. And it's your goals. It's things that your dreams, your muse. Like, so many people go through life and build resentment, but they stop themselves. Really, they did. No one else was stopping them. Well, this person says this. Fuck them. Doesn't matter. Don't go and fuck them necessarily, but you understand what I mean. It doesn't matter. You're making it matter. Because you're procrastinating. It's just time to do. It's time to stop the judgment of yourself, right? Like, there's only so long you can do that, and then the path forks. It forks. It goes into resentment and making sure that you tell every other little asshole out there that they can't even do it, and who do they think they are, etc. Or it forks and you go, fuck it. And then you go down that road and you realize that even if those people did judge, nothing happens. It's like being offended. I'm offended. All right, we'll be offended. Nothing happens. It's the same fucking thing. You're only protecting your feelings and the creation of the fantasy land of whether that be horrible or positive, right? None of it's occurring. Deal with the now. Deal with the right now, the present. And move towards the thing that you know is right. And it's a continual narrative of mine, but there's so many different angles we can go down to be able to meet it. And I don't know if there's one person that's listening to this that's never thought, what will they say? Right? It's interesting. And sometimes that's parents, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's girlfriends and partners, or boyfriends and husbands, right? Sometimes, and this is for me, right? Sometimes it was my peers in the industry, people that were never gonna either A, listen to my stuff or buy my stuff or come to my seminars, and I'm thinking I was building up, how are they gonna judge me? They weren't going to fucking benefit from it anyway. And because this is what was happening, is that I was stopping myself from doing the things that I really wanted to do, and that I felt coming through me, because I was creating this potential judgment in the eyes of people that were never going to benefit from it. And here's the thing, they really don't care about me. People don't think about us as much as we may think. I had a friend of mine the other day tell me a funny line, and he goes, when you're 20, you think that everyone's judging you, and everyone's, you should be this and you should be that, and so on and so forth. And when you get to 40, you stop caring what everyone thinks. And when you get to 60, you realize that no one really thinks about you. It's like, people just don't think about you as much as you may think. And maybe you don't think they do, then whatever, but it's something that I've had to remind myself. It's like, oh, what will they say? It's like, man, they've got heaps of other shit to focus on in their life. Stop thinking you're one of them. Maybe you are. But don't predict that, right? You can't let your insecurities, and you cannot let the prediction of other people's insecurities stop you from making a positive impact on this earth, a positive footprint. Move forward. It's time to go. Team, that's it. I'm done. Thank you very much for listening to my podcast. Now, I'm going to tell you every single day until the competition is, not competition, what is it called? The publishizer. The month. Crowdfunding. Thank you. For the book. I am writing a book with Mr. Nick Shaw called The Human Movement, which is effectively your map to building your health IQ. So I would mean the world to me if you could jump on. It's on my Facebook, it's on my Instagram, it's in the Mood Prep online group as well, which is still free for next week. It would mean the world to me if you could jump on there and help support me reach my target of 250 and beyond. I think there's about 170 down at the moment, so almost there. Otherwise, team, that's it. If you found this podcast beneficial, I would love it if you would share it with someone else who you think would also find it beneficial. And then, until tomorrow, peace and pizza. kick today in the dick, slay the dragon. I'll see you soon.
To be everything at once, be unblinded, be unlearned, be unbridled.